Sure.
Hello, hello. Good morning, community. I'm so proud to be here on stage, and not only me, but also the whole team of diva-e, to be the co-host of this event, which will become the next level of e-commerce events in Germany, and Boris just mentioned also in Europe, and as he is, in the world. So you are witnessing the birth of the next big thing. He promised that we don't do Spryker all the day. I haven't seen that in the presentation, but we are getting to it. I am also specifically proud that I have with me here on stage Stefanie Hegener, who is the Global Head of E-commerce and Digital Services.
Thank you very much for having us. Yeah.
At, surprisingly, our client SMA.
Surprisingly, since nearly 1.5 years, yeah.
And so SMA Solar has a good time right now, I guess?
Yes, we do. Actually, our whole SUC industry is really booming again. And we did have the right ideas a couple of years ago and a good partner, and we would like to take you through what we really do and what we mean by decoding e-commerce, because there are so many experts in the room who might think, what do they mean with it? Yeah, let's start.
I'm so happy to have you here. And we have discussed in advance the last couple of weeks and days preparing also this presentation, but also during the project, okay, what could be the next kind of decisive factors? What are the success factors for future commerce? And today, we are living in a time of uncertainty. And that's not unusual. Uncertainty is all over the place. Sometimes we don't know what happens tomorrow or tonight and the next year to come. And it was others in the last decade where we all had rising budgets and we had money to spend on digital commerce and all the big initiatives. And this is now getting back to a normal. And so we have to live with uncertainty, and uncertainty will be our daily business. So we ask ourselves, how can we, at the e-commerce space, conquer uncertainty? And by doing so, we ask ourselves the following questions. First, how can we manage technological complexity and technology integration better in order to reduce risks? The other question would be, how can we become more efficient, which means to increase the value on e-commerce spend? And third, and most importantly, how can we drive transactions to deliver more business value? While finding answers to these questions, Stefanie and myself have checked on the latest kind of e-commerce trends and the things we have experienced at the clients' organizations, but also with a lot of talks with you guys, even last night at our pre-dinner. And we have figured out 3 things which we want to decode with you. The 3 elements for future success and to become more efficient are, number 1, to master technology and especially technology integration. Number 2, delivering on total experience. And number 3, finding the right target operating model for your organization to lower total cost of ownership. Now, all of the 3 items basically will help to streamline digital commerce. It will make it more efficient. So the E in e-commerce is no longer just electronic, but also efficient. So let's walk you through the 3 items. We do this together. I'm going to start, and Stefanie will have the real content, adding to it, okay? All right. Number 1, technology. Obviously, we are here at a tech conference, and I guess we are all proud and grateful about what technology did to us and what technology has enabled us to do. It has made our life easier and more joyful. Just think about yourself, how you came here, with a car or by train. Did you check last night the map and listen to radio stations to figure out whether there's a traffic jam? Have you been at the train station to buy yourself a ticket? I guess not. What you did, you jumped into the car this morning or yesterday, you went to a train, and you'll be here in time. Okay, with the train, maybe not in time, but at least you are here now, okay? All right, so that's an exceptional experience, and we should always reflect ourselves how great this is and how easy it has made it to our how easy it is for our lives. Now, when I talk to e-commerce decision makers at corporations, it's the opposite, or often the opposite, inside of companies. We are not using the technology shifts which we have in front of us, to our advantage, right? I mean, the BlackBerry was a great device of its time. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 of it. And what we do today is we try to solve iPhone problems with a BlackBerry, which won't work. We try to solve tomorrow's challenges with yesterday's technology stack. It simply won't work. It doesn't mean that it's really not working at all, but it's just kind of working. And it's much more effort, it's had much more effort, and it takes much more time and money to keep it all rolling instead of looking at the new trends and finding the new technology shifts, which will help the corporations to become better. This is especially funny because all of us, we are buying ourselves a new iPhone every other year. We don't watch DVDs anymore. Instead, we are hooked up to any streaming service to see Ted Lasso's latest episodes in HD+. And I'm pretty sure that in a year from now, all of us, including myself, we're going to have an Apple Vision Pro on our heads. So all great. Why are we not using that personal habit also in our corporate lives? Why are we not taking advantage about technology? Maybe because it seems a bit frustrating and we are maybe a bit fearful about the whole kind of complexity we are sitting on. And Stefanie will tell you more about it in a minute. It's a lot. You need a lot of pieces to put together to have the best digital commerce experience, for sure. But words like composable, API-driven development, Mach architecture, headless front ends, those are no buzzwords anymore. They are real. CIOs and tech decision makers should take those technologies and put it into action, because then technology integration will be much easier and faster and much more reliable, and by that it will certainly reduce risk of your technical operation of your digital commerce front end. It will make your user experience better, and when it does make your user experience better, it increases business value. Now, Steffi, how have you mastered technology?
Well, it was kind of a challenge, which we saw and we all know. We all had changed e-commerce tech stacks. We all have changed parts of it, e-commerce shops. Everybody I spoke to last night said, yeah, we changed to Spryker years ago, pretty happy, fast implementation. My team is here and we did the same. And what you see here is on purpose not a technical image, it's a sports image that are track runners, hurdle runners. And we all think they're all doing the same. They're having one goal, they're running down the track, they're going over same heights of hurdles, and at the end, one is the winner. For us at the team, in practice, this challenge was pretty big and pretty different because we have more than 20 different countries, 6 different languages, different warehouses, different backend systems, same systems you will see later on in our architecture, but everybody's running and you can see them on a picture, and this means our representing countries, communities, teams in a different style. And for us as a team, and let's imagine the hurdles are not all even the same, different heights of hurdles, even to like meter-high concrete walls. And we said, how do we integrate all these various demands, use cases, components of technology, bringing them into a best-of-breed approach, not having it all in one monolith system, which is very difficult to maneuver, to move, to change, and to also have a higher performance and to end-to-end process. That was really new for us because, as you were speaking about the BlackBerry and the iPhone, for us at SMA and the solar industry, the whole distribution strategy had to change over the years. Having big pallets of inverters, of solar panels from other industry players, being more in a composable way also in our system and products we are providing, not only technology-wise, and translating these use cases and demands into technology tech stacks and streamlining this into one smooth process was really a big challenge. I think we did pretty good. We are still doing pretty good and implementing it. But the biggest challenge is not like having the composable system, having the headless, the smooth displays, designs. For us, the e-fulfillment part was by far the biggest challenge. Bringing in digital payment solutions, finding the right technology and orchestration partner for it, having big support by Spryker and diva-e, I have to admit, so thank you for that, but also managing the individual touch points of sales, individual country regulations, tax regulations, etc., and then bringing this into a fast pace of implementing the storefronts and also the S/4HANA transition, which just happened last year at the same time while we were developing. So that was pretty much a challenge. And integrating this all with our after-sales services, these teams are working on Salesforce. So what you can see here, and also combining the functionalities we had in mind with a best-of-breed approach, meaning we are talking, you can see it here on the Mach architecture or the overall architecture we've chosen. We do have pretty big fish in the pond. We do have Salesforce in there since years. Salesforce is not only our CRM solution, but also our sales and service solution. So our sales and service teams for pre-sales and after-sales, while Spryker is in the middle, and we do want to translate every existing business into a digital process. I'm not talking about direct sales, that's pretty important. I'm talking about the existing system and the existing processes we are having in business to translate them into our Spryker solution or even EDI, but also having this all in a service approach and a microservice approach, one of the part of the Mach architecture, by orchestrating it via MuleSoft. And for us, and Frank will talk about this much more in detail, I don't want to steal all your thunder, then we had to build it up on Spryker, bringing in the headless approach, the designs on Angular, and at the same time, a big other fish in the tank, an internal project, you see it here in the small logo, called SMA ID. So 3 big projects and launches at the same time, bringing this into one for SMA, totally new approach, having a best-of-breed approach and not being just built, being honest, not being just built on Salesforce, but also being built on Spryker, on Adobe, and the backbone of S/4HANA. Sirko, thesis number 2. Yeah.
Thank you. Great, and yeah, it was quite a challenge, but we managed it, and we also did manage it because you and your whole team, as well as your management, was all behind it, right? That's, I guess, also important as well. Now, but you know, to be honest, technology is not everything. No. It can be just an enabler for the things we really want to achieve, to be smarter, more reliable, more efficient, right? And it did so in the past. We, you know, started at some 25 years ago with kind of single-channel commerce, and then we did multi-channel commerce and cross-channel, and we came recently to omni-channel. But did we really consider it all? Did we really took the technology we have in our hands to go to the next level? And if not, we should. And we should start with total experience. diva-e is keen on total experience, becoming the next differentiating factor for any digital commerce operation to conquer competition, uncertainty, and to lift efficiency. So what it's all about? It's about connecting all stakeholders of a company, whether these are investors, employees, customers, indirect sales channels, all of them, you name it, and deliver targeted and tailored content to all of these audiences at a micro level. It will build a consistent and comprehensive view about the enterprise's business, about its product, its services, and the brand. And by doing so, it will deliver great user experiences. Now, think about it as a constant circle of improvement. Let's take a website or a landing page to launch a new digital product. You build it all from scratch. Maybe you use Spryker, maybe you use any other technology. You put performance marketing on top. You run the campaigns. You measure your success, traffic pattern, transactions, all of the KPIs you would need in order to make your business better. You analyze it, you research it, you figure out what are the flaws, what are the good things and the bad things, and you feed all this information back into your user experience. This all can be done just with data powered by AI. It's not possible to do this manually or just with some simple rule engines. It's just too much load. It's too much volume. It's too much sophistication. AI will help us to improve our user experience again and again and again. So your user experience is no longer static. It's dynamic every time you're using it. And that is what it's all about, because now our customers and clients feel welcomed. And they feel like they are at the right spot for the stuff they want to do. And now we are at the what or why. Why is it so important? You know, there's just one single reason for it. I mentioned it earlier, it's just the one reason why we are all here. It's about transactions. We have to drive transactions. Yes, that's diva-e's claim. That's true. And yes, that's the little advertising block inside of my little speech here. But I hope that all of you in the room, whether you are partner, customers, technicians, that you can relate to this term. We put the passion in transaction. Because that's what we're here for. That's ultimately our job. Our job is not to enable some technology or do some marketing. We're all doing this to drive transactions by our heart. How did you drive transactions, Steffi?
So what we are doing since 2 years a tremendous change. We are putting the customer in our strategy 2025 as one of the core pillars called customer centricity. And we are also looking more into our digital touch points, which means we found as a team more than 20 different touch points. Let's imagine you are all solar installers. Our main chunk of the business is B2B. You are between 30 and 65 years old. You are very well educated in how to put the solar panels on the roof, how to register the inverter, how to get this whole solar system running. But when it comes to something is broken, you need a spare part, or you want to extend the system by buying a battery, you have a really fragmented experience with us. You use your iPhone, you use your Google phone, whatever, and you have it on your small screen. First, you go into our app, then you need to change with a different password to our new shop powered by Spryker. Then, so it was all very disruptive, all very fragmented, and you had to keep in mind all your credentials. There was no single sign-on. So for us as a team, we said that's really not the customer centricity we want. We need to create a unique experience and enable you to have a smooth process, and you're not really even experiencing that you're jumping from one system to the other. You have the fastest possibility to buy the spare parts you need to solve the solution somewhere in Australia in the desert. You're remotely, it's an off-grid system. You have hardly any internet connection, so it needs to be on your phone. It needs to be later on pushed to your vendor and to your purchasing department, and then in a couple of hours, hopefully, if it's a bigger system, or days to get this. So having this all tailored to your needs, and having this really tailored to the different needs of wholesalers, of single installers, of end consumers. When they install the system, they want to download software, or they want to buy even an EV charger, might be in the future, and really getting this all adapted to the local markets, to the regional differences as well. We are the world here in the room, let's assume that, and some of you are APAC installers. You have a different ambition how to browse and use your technical devices. You have a different expectations from speed and delivery and time to market and how many systems you want to install. You are an American installer. You are really used from your day-to-day private business to have real-time experiences. You want to be targeted with the right content, with the right shop items, with the right pricing, with the right up and cross-selling. Maybe you don't, but you get it. And really grow your business together with us as a partner, and also to grow with your clients. And that's what we want to do. We want to be more efficient. We want to satisfy our customer. And this can only be done via the Mach architecture we showed you, via the flexibility and the headless approach we brought in, and also by really listening to our customer at the same time. Because having a faster time to market and adapting it by our architecture we are having is really good. But the composability of our systems, of our solar systems, translated into our systems for our e-commerce platform, really helps us to increase the happiness for the installer, but also for the developer of new products, and helps us, and this also doesn't need to be forgotten, to get more out of our transactions, out of our business, to help us to make more efficiencies, and at the end, a better job also for the customer and more money for SMA. But transformation is not everything. People are important, customers are important, but there's one last thing. No.
Thank you, and I'm always happy to hear when our clients are successful, because that means also good business for us, usually. So we talked about technology, and we touched upon experiences, and now it's on us. Again, here in the room, sorry, I'm always looking at all of you. 70% of all transition projects fail because we don't do the right job, right? Because we do not our duty in terms of navigating our teams and our organizations through the jungle, so to say. And it's on us, on the e-commerce decision makers of the companies, the product managers of our software vendors, as well as us as professional services firms. We have to make sure to get it right and to implement it right. And this is not about technology, right? It's about people and organizations. We have to put together the right pieces of our organizations to deliver exceptional user experiences and digital commerce environments. And by doing so, we can take all of the departments inside of our organizations, the capacity and resources we have available, whether it's customer service, supply chain management, marketing, sales, indirect sales channels, product management, etc. We have to line up all the pieces we need for the digital commerce value chain. And every team has to be crystal clear on its responsibilities and duties inside of this value chain. And if we do this right, if we really act as one company to the outside, no silos, if we do this, we will create exceptional user experiences, as you all can imagine. We will lift our brand experience. The brand will be on the next level. And this ultimately will drive more transactions and deliver more business value, like SMA did.
Yeah. Last thing, yeah. So what did we change? We nearly did a 180, and how do we really define and compose our new project? What we did as a team nearly 2 years ago, we formed a team on a DevOps methodology, but also from an end-to-end approach and globally. Before, we were pretty much used to work and think outside of Kassel. SMA is based in Kassel, a German company. And this time ever, the team said, no, we want somebody from marketing in, from product management, from the IT team, from tax, from global order management, from the finance team, from the e-commerce team. So I think we were 12 or 13 different disciplines on the table. That was already pretty crowded on the teams, and by the way, it was all COVID times, so hardly any face-to-face meetings, just remote. And then we said, also as a team, we need to really get this translated into regional differences, and we need to be thinking of digital savvinesses, as I said. How are Southern Americans browsing, reading, versus people in the Philippines, Indonesia, Australia, the US, Europe, Germany, Poland, Italy. They are all different. They have different needs, they have different use cases, and we need to transform us as a team and as a company and bring this into an essential pillar. And being digital wasn't a DNA of SMA since 15 years from a distribution perspective. As I said, we were sending to a chunk of global key accounts, big pallets, and then we were really focusing on bringing the next big inverter and being more USP driven on our hardware than on our digital sales strategy, which was okay, but nowadays we need to think this differently. We do have clear targets. How do we want to transform? And I cannot share so many figures because we are on the stock exchange, but and also exchanging opinions with some of you last night, having 25 to 30% or even 40% of the main business being transformed into the pure digital end-to-end process is already pretty ambitious, but getting more than 1.5 billion euros by email is not acceptable. So we need to really build up a process and a capability and a competence in SMA, which we had for a certain time and a certain way of bringing goods to our customers, but we needed to find good partners like Spryker and diva-e to really translate this into competences, new roadmaps, new targets, and also new ways of working globally together by learning from you, by also learning from our regions, what does it really mean to work on an agile basis. Yeah, it's nice to have 2-week sprints, but at the end, not everybody really understood what the output of a sprint is and how this whole translation into the customer experience really could be positive and having a positive support and not a competitive element seen seen by the sales manager by using the Spryker solution and by also being really more in one digital experience journey for us. You were speaking both about AI, how important it is. It's super important for us since years, not only by looking with data scientists and how is the user pattern and the user behavior also changing, but also to use data intelligence for after-sales services to support the services teams and also to adapt the pre-sales solution. So we are using AI throughout the whole process. We are not there yet where we want to be. We are at the very beginning, at the tip of the start of our hurdle track racing, but still data intelligence helps us to learn more, to have the right offer in the right channel for the right client, and really slicing the content, and guys, we have a lot of content, and bringing it to you when you're a large-scale installer. You don't care about the home solutions further, maybe from a private reason, but for a large scale, you have this, you need these items, you need the bigger boys in our trunks, but you don't need the small ones. And on the other side, we also need to learn how can we adapt and improve to the competition. What do you really want to see, read, being informed, being not informed about, and really not stealing the time of the customer, not stealing the time also of the developers who are building the systems to have too much to be done, and also being in place globally with the right approach is super important for us. Yeah, for us, this was really a very, very long journey. Some of you asked us, and I thought about it along, why did it take you nearly a year? We were faster. For us, we had multiple pre-things to be done, like going to a different SAP solution as for HANA, as I said. We needed to really build up the teams and the processes first in the regions because the pressure on us as a team was super high. Everybody wanted this new Spryker solution. Everybody wanted the new headless solution. But it doesn't make any sense if you have a really good shop and you have credit card payment and PayPal and Apple and whatever, and then the client buys and you get a fax in the global order management that somebody just purchased 8 inverters and needs 10 spare parts, and then nobody knows what to do. They don't have the warehouse logistics in place. We have supply chain managers who are used to think more in bigger numbers. We have logistic partners who are used to deliver pallets and not small parts of pieces be ordered, like exchange devices, etc. So having the first 80% from the first thesis and being on this hurdle run was really easy, but the last 20%, the last 2 to 3 hurdles, and I can just speak for myself, were like, you need this muddy angel rock climbing thing and you still feel like you have done it, and then there's the next one, because for whatever reason the e-fulfillment process are so different and so differently set up that for us, this whole thing and translating it into action, we hope the customer never sees how much we did on this and how much sweat and discussions we had. But on the other side, I think we can all be pretty proud about what we just changed in 1.5 years, and maybe next year we can show you the next evolution. Yeah.
Compared to some other clients, you are at light speed, I have to say.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We are coming to the end of our presentation, and just to remind you on the 3 things you should take away. First, take the modern possibilities of technology integration in order to reduce risk. Take total experience as your next level of experience to increase your return on investment. And finally, find the right target operating model. As we've just learned, it's very sophisticated for your organization to lower your total cost of ownership. It all will increase your user experience. It will make your user experience better. It will drive more transactions and delivers more business value. If you want to talk about us or with us, not about us, but with us,
yeah, hopefully with
you
us,
can find us. You can also talk about us, of course, only in a good way. You can find us everywhere here around, and of course at the nice-looking and thanks to the team, diva-e Experience Lounge. Especially, I would kind of recommend our expert panel in some breaks where we also talk about AI-powered front-end development. It will be a good thing to look for. All right, thank you very much, and again, thank you, Stefanie.
Thank you. Okay.